dad's right in there with them. My favorite noise. It was a day like today, almost 1 year ago exactly, when I was driving with Rob in the bottom of this canyon looking for cat tracks, and there was wolf tracks all over the place. A spot where the wolf had peed on a tree and kicked all the snow out from underneath it. It was so fresh, the pee was still dripping. Got out, howled in the bottom, and the wolf answered about right on that ridge line, right back to us, and we could hear it perfectly. I told Rob that he needed to take me back so I could get my truck and come back and go hunting for him by myself, because Rob had a cat client that he was taking care of and had a cat track already picked out that he was going to go chase as soon as it got light. And I came back and I drove my truck and I parked it about right here, and I started walking up the bottom to go get a howl at him, see if he was still over in here somewhere. And I howled, and he howled back up in here behind me. And I thought I had ruined my chance because I had parked right underneath him. But what he did was he came down and he crossed the road while we were gone, and he ran up the bottom of this canyon to the next ridge and worked his way up that one to the top of this knob. And this is where I started getting close to him, howling at the top. Get a shot of this guy. He's up here on the top of this knob. Probably glass him up from here. Up there. Within 250. I've ran 400-foot vert and elevation gain from the bottom there all the way up to this point. And when I got to this big burnt tree right here, this is where I thought I might be able to get a shot at him. He was somewhere right up there on the flat. And this is where I decided that I had to go this way to get where he couldn't see me coming and come up the backside. And by then, I'd been wearing my rain pants underneath. I was getting so hot, I had to stop to take them off or I was gonna overheat. And I had to take my gaiters off, and the loudest sound on earth is the Velcro on your gaiters ripping off as you're trying to do it quietly. And I'm not sure if it was me moving positions and howling at him again or if he heard the sound of my Velcro, but he took off from the top down the back side and up the next ridge that way instead of going up the ridge that way like I wanted him to. So when I got up here, I was hoping that the white one would go this way and stop right around in here where I could get a shot at it. But he ran down over into here, and it sounded like he was just gonna keep going. And once they do that, it's hard to keep following them because these drainages here are a lot bigger than they look. So when I heard him over there, I decided I was gonna wait him out before I did anything else, and I posted up at that tree. And when I sat down, I realized that it was a bad idea that I had taken my rain gear off, because now I'm sitting in the snow starting to get soaked, and I'm on a standoff with a wolf. I don't know how long it's gonna take him to move, and I was getting wet and cold fast. So here I was sitting in this tree, getting soaked, glassing this as hard as I could. And the tree that he was behind was 284 yards away. So just far enough that you could easily miss. And I was barking back and forth with him, and I could tell he was over there somewhere. I just couldn't figure it out until he finally stepped out from behind the top of that tree right there. And he was posted up right where it gets white, right above my finger. He had most of the branch covering him. And I had my gun on my kneecap, and the crosshairs were going on and off his body. And I knew that that was going to be a bad shot if I tried taking it. There was more than 50% chance that I was going to miss completely. So I knew I had to do better, and there wasn't really any good branches on this side of the tree to get a good rest off of. And so I put my gun over the top of my backpack like this. I rocked back and I rocked into it, and I got dead steady on him. And I aimed at the biggest chunk possible so I had the most leeway of error, and I pulled the trigger. Pow! And it went right in between his eyes and dropped him right there. I looked back through the scope. I was so thankful and happy I got him. I almost couldn't believe it. Just dumped a wolf on that hillside. Got him, big one, yes, I did. Guys, I just dropped a wolf on this hillside, and we're about to go get him. Yeah, way up in here. I'm gonna save this herd of elk up here. And I wanted to get good pictures of them, so I decided I was gonna drag them out whole. So I took them straight down to the bottom and started dragging them down the bottom, and that's when I cut his tracks going up, coming up this ridge, and then came up this way to right above here before he went down here and over there. I got him out to the bottom and out about 1,000 vertical feet above where I started. Should be a dead wolf underneath that second or third tree. From right over there. was him. Ran over here, stopped behind this tree. We thought he was safe. He turned around, came back, get a look. There he is right there. Oh my gosh, is that Moby Dick? Oh my god, look at that thing. Oh, he's still alive. He's him. I can't believe it. There he is, guys. Drilled him. That might be Moby Dick. Guys, I cannot believe I made that shot. Clear over there. Dumped him. Fur on the ground. What a magnificent animal. Guys, I can almost probably guarantee that this is the big white one that was on the rocks. What an incredible hunt. Just unreal that I'm sitting here right now with this big boy, taking his last breaths. You don't even know it. Just sleeping. Taking a dirt nap. Poor guy. That's what he did to everybody else, so I can't feel bad. Not only that, I saved a bunch of animals in this incredible place. How unreal. Craziest part is I shot him right there, square in between the eyes. Gave him a buzz cut. About to weigh him. He's got a big old tag where his tooth goes through his lip. Then he's got a big old ball on his back leg. All right, pull him up.
See what we got.
What's it say? 100 pounds.
101.
Lost a couple pounds in blood.
Hey, I was off by a pound, 2 pounds.
Yeah, over the 100 club.
Good job, son.
So Rob got the picture of the wolf down at the bottom of that ridge. He was about 500, 600 yards away from it, cat hunting, so he didn't have the long range rifle. So he snapped a few pictures and videos of it and went along his way. And another guy and his wife showed back up and seen if they could make a play on it. And they were unsuccessful, and the wolf ended up traveling this ridge all the way up to the top of the mountain range. And then from there, he went down to the next big ridge over and dropped that one all the way down. And by then I had had word that he was out here, and me and my dad showed up over that direction for an easy walk to see if we could hear some howls. And 20 minutes after we howled back and forth to each other, the wolf was right on the ridge next to us, howling back. So I left thinking that I had a good chance of coming back and finding him. And in my mind, I thought he was gonna be running back and forth through all these canyons here. And I was gonna have to hike way up into one, locate him, and then make a play. And that was a really big feat just to think about. One of the reasons why I named him Moby Dick was because this was his home range in here. And getting him was gonna be extremely difficult. It was gonna mean risking my life. I came back looking for him and was unsuccessful. He was on the next mountain range behind that one, running around for a couple of days before he finally came down, hit this canyon, and was doing half pipes back and forth, making his way up. And we followed his tracks all the way to back up in here. And that's where we hopped out and howled at him, and he responded up in here. And then from there, he came over to here. So I was pretty fortunate to catch up to him after how much ground he covered.